3, 2, 1, and we are on back again for another interesting and enigmatic episode of what? None other than the Av Files.
Yes.
Welcome back, everybody. I, of course, am your host, Av. I am joined once again by the most enigmatic guy on YouTube, Daniel Arias.
Hello.
What is up?
Hello. Yes, Happy New Year, everyone. Hello. Cheers.
Yeah, Happy New Year's to everybody. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Happy New Year.
Yes, cheers. Yes, salutation. We made it. Not at the time of recording, which is really weird, but by the time you're watching.
By the time you hear this, we would have. Unless something happens between then and now.
Yes, by the time you're watching.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
Again, once again, my team won. You saw the recap. My team won again on Sunday night. That was awesome.
That was a good one. I was watching that before we started recording. I actually got lost and lost track of time. You know, they're winning me back. There's a couple more things they need to do to get me back on, but
it's not that hard to gain fans, new fans and old ones to come back when you win.
Well, I need you know what? For me, what needs to happen is I need the bridge to be built between the old team and the new team, as far as the name and the logo and that stuff. I need closure on what's happening, you know, because I feel like they just did that so dirty. There needs to be something, either a statue put up or something. They need to commemorate what was, for sure. Like,
there is talks about them going back to either the old logo or both.
If they do, oh my god, if they do, I'm back in it. It's like I never left. If they go back, I am in it like I never left, because I tell everyone, I am a Washington Redskins fan.
Yeah. I honestly, like, diehard fans always say, no, they're Commanders, but we are the Washington Redskins. Deep down, that's what we are.
Still, hail to the Redskins. That's what it is. Okay, there's no other. It doesn't work the other way. No, hail to the Commanders. Get the fuck out of here.
No, it's awesome. No, I hope that they do change it back.
Yeah. So I was thinking, man. Once again, thank you for having me on the podcast. It's a pleasure to be here.
Love it when you come on. Love
it. It's almost becoming a thing now. So look, quick question: what is your top three modes of transportation that you would choose in a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, man,
and why?
And no in particular order.
No. In particular order. It has top three.
So from three, would probably be okay. So for number three, crazy enough, if it's zombies.
Okay, no, but okay. Here, I feel like that's very vague. Okay.
No. I got
only for you though. Let's say it's just you.
Okay, yeah. This is what I'm going at. Honestly, for top three. So my and it might sound weird, but if I'm just thinking like straight off right off the top of my head, quick getaway, I can get at it. Probably a car would be number three. A dirt bike would be number two, and then a helicopter would definitely be number one.
Ooh,
I know a helicopter's kind of like, yeah, but it's a bigger area, but I can actually vertical takeoff. There's like no, like, you know what I mean?
There's no runway.
Takeoff. I can go. I can land. You know, it's not that. You know, I don't have to be like, oh, I got to drive this way. I just up and I'm gone. You know, I mean, that's my thought. That was my thought. But like, the motorcycle definitely would be second, if not one. Car is definitely three, only because it's bigger. Can't squeeze into small, tight spaces as the motorcycle could. It's slower to get away. I can definitely go faster in a motorcycle than on the car.
Cars are a little bit quieter, depending on the type. Cars are quieter, and isn't that a thing? You don't want to arouse. A dirt bike kind of is very obnoxiously loud. Once you kick that off, granted, you have all the terrain open. For a dirt bike, you're good to go. If
Well,
you can
okay,
see it, you're good.
but see now that's another thing too. You're on a motorcycle, right? And you fucking hit a pebble and you fall. Well, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. You not only are you worried about zombies, you're also worried about collisions and everything else.
Right, yeah. So it's like you got to be like play it cool when you're, I mean, there's always, but
It's nothing's ever perfect, and that's what I'm saying. Like
no,
nothing's completely zombie
no,
apocalypse proof. Things need fuel to go. Your
yeah.
range isn't going to be perfect.
I mean, if we're just strictly talking about zombies, like I don't have to worry about other people going after me. I think that's probably the way I would go.
like, and we're talking for everyone listening. We're talking like Walking Dead zombies, like
Not
like
World War Z zombies,
not
yeah.
not world yeah not World War Z zombies, not 28 Days Later rage zombies. We're not the
Just no.
runners, not the runners. Nothing is escaping those. We are all dead. Once
But I
they
tell you
start
what, though,
running, yeah, they're
because if you had to go into a city, the good thing is you could always land on a building if you're in a helicopter. You're way above everything else.
yeah. But then my fear is like that building is full of them, and then you got to fight down to get to whatever you're getting at. Like for me, if the zombie apocalypse breaks out, guess what's off limits? Cities.
Well, no one's ever going to go to city.
Yeah,
That's the one thing. That's the one thing that. Yeah, that's the one thing.
yeah.
Well,
I'm just
the
like
only reason I would go
goodbye.
to a city would be for like something. After a while, food is would you couldn't even get food from the city. It would only be like medical supplies, if that.
Yeah, yeah. Because
'Cause
I
you're
mean,
not going to get them in the woods.
no one would venture into a city to get medical supplies because
No.
that's gone. That's 100%. I feel like cities are either like the last bastion of hope, like the last holdout. Those have been either those are ransacked first, or those have
Oh,
been
those are
taken
definitely
over.
ransacked first because those are the most populated. Those are the ones that everyone ran to the store to grab diapers, baby food, water, oatmeal, anything canned, and I really believe uh medical supplies is like low on everybody's list.
Which
I
is
don't think people,
ridiculous.
yeah, because they're
Which is
thinking
ridiculous.
survival. I got to eat. Like, yeah, but what if you get, hurt?
What if you
You
get a
got to have
what if you
some
have
type
a
of bandage.
what if you have a whooping cough and there's zombies around? You're gonna give your position away. 9 times out of 10. No one thinks about that. Like I'm sorry. You got that whooping cough, that rattle pneumonia in your chest, and you're out there in the woods. Guess what? You're dead.
You're done.
You're dead.
Yeah.
Um, okay. No, I would definitely I would say, what about look, I think the black horse in this whole thing, right? And not a horse. I would not choose a horse because how are you going to feed a horse? What if the horse is carrying the virus? Then you have a zombie horse, and then you're not Ghost Rider. Then it's not cool. Then it's not
Whatever they
cool.
showed you, whatever Marvel's thinking, like, yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
work.
No, it doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. What about bicycle? Like I know that sounds really stupid and
it's
very
funny
Pee
because I
Wee
was
Herman,
actually when you
but
asked me
like
that, I was thinking about that. But again, you get tired.
but
You know
you're
what I mean?
quiet. It's silent though.
It is quieter. It's definitely quieter. It doesn't need gas,
It doesn't need
but
gas.
how much can you like? You got to carry some things, so you have to have like some
A
way. I
fucking
mean,
wagon? Like a wagon? Nah, yeah. Right.
all you hear is like squeaking as you're like pedaling. Squeak, 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 squeak.
Oh man. Oh, you have to get like a big wheel. You get a big wheel.
Oh man,
Uh
that would actually be. Oh no, I don't know. Bike.
do they make adult big wheels? Because that would be dope. Like a
Um,
tricycle.
probably,
Because yeah,
probably.
then that takes the cake. That's my zombie apocalypse ride. Quiet, practical, doesn't flip. I'm good to go. Can carry a
No flat
wagon.
tires.
Can carry a wagon. But yeah, man. Sorry, I had to ask that. I thought it was, why not? Why
Random
not?
question. That's all. That's all good, man. No, it's cool. No, it's interesting. Yeah, because who knows?
Yeah,
You never
I
know
mean,
when stuff happens.
2025 is almost happening, so we never
Yeah.
know.
So I mean, that zombie apocalypse is on its way.
Yep, we already had the drone apocalypse.
There you go. See,
So,
that's what's going on. Also, before we go any further, man, I want to say what's up for the shirt.
oh, look at that, everybody! Look at that. The AV files. That is dope. That is dope.
I'd like to just extend a great big thank you, and I love it, to my work family. They
Yes.
actually thought, did it upon themselves, and they came about and had the whole idea, and they talked about it among themselves. It was a big surprise, and I was more than, I can't say enough that I was like more happy with it. I think it's dope as fuck. So I really love it.
That's
And I
awesome.
want big shout out to Mel and Matt and everybody else at
That's
work,
awesome.
uh, Abby and them. Yeah, because they were like, yeah, let's do it. Chad, Miss Lara. Yeah, man, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Dude, that once you showed me that shirt, I was jealous. I was like, that looks so cool. That
No,
looks
I
so
love
cool.
it.
And for everyone watching, whatever Av just showed you, what it actually is the right way around. It's just the way the camera is, everyone, that it's kind of like flipped.
Yeah, it's not backwards.
It's not backwards. They did not print the shirt backwards. It actually says
It's
it the correct way. Okay, everyone.
it's
So it,
spelled the right way.
yeah, yeah. That what an enigmatic T-shirt. No,
Yeah, it's like you got to stand in front of a mirror to actually read it.
yeah. Boom, Av files.
Oh man.
Terrible marketing. No,
No,
it's
I
just
thought. No, I did. I really did. I
that's
couldn't say
awesome.
anything. I couldn't even actually wait to put the shirt on to put it on the show. I'm like definitely wearing this shirt.
That
Oh,
is
when I
your
go to
show
work.
shirt now. That is officially the
I'm show
podcast
shirt.
shirt.
Man. Yeah, and I tell you what, white. I'm horrible with white shirts because somehow, some way, I
Hey,
end up with a food stain on it, and I'm like, I don't know where it came from. And I know when I take this off, I'll have a food stain from somewhere, and I
hey,
don't know how. But
it's that's why you get that's why you get like the coat hanger and just hang it before you go do anything.
yeah, oh
Just
yeah,
just hang it. Like here it is. I'm going to the office. Get
yeah.
my shirt on,
This is
and
this
then
is my this is my game jersey. This is my game jersey. 'Cause I
dude,
only wear it when I record. That's it.
that's awesome, man. No,
No,
it looks freaking dope. I love that,
thanks,
man.
man. Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
I thought, yeah, no, I thought it was, dude. Again, I was like way beyond. I was ecstatic when I saw it. I was like, holy hell! I was more than what I could imagine anyone would do for me just because I thought that was, oh
That's
shit.
awesome.
So,
That's awesome. So thank you for
what
listening,
up?
guys. Thank you for listening, and thank you for working with our with our buddy Av here.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Tolerating him there.
Yeah, the heck. So people actually do like me.
What?
I know. I was
Oh
like,
man.
oh. Uh, and before we go any further, I also like to add, if you are enjoying this and you would love to know more or hear more stories, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button,
Yep.
because for a limited time, like we are, this is like
We're
the
running
last
a
one of the
special
year.
until 2026. We are extending it for 1 year.
Yeah,
Okay. It is the Anim sale. Okay. Free, guys. Free
for
this year.
free. Okay,
Free.
so hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications. Uh, get ring that bell every time a new episode drops. You can see it. So we appreciate it because every little bit helps. Even like the little comments that you guys add in there. I
Yeah.
love the comments. I'm sorry, like I'm at work trying to read comments too, and I'm like, oh shit, like they're pretty good. Yeah.
They're phenomenal. I also try to read the comments as well. I also do. But and I also try to leave them as well. But hey, here's a question. What are we talking about today, bro?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you asked.
Wow.
Today, we'll be talking about something that is very interesting and hard to believe, but still with no real answers, as always. Is
What?
it just a really good prank, or is this thing actually from another world? What we're talking about is known as the Betz Sphere. Betz Sphere is one of the most mysterious and debated objects of the 1970s, sparking intrigue and speculation about its origin and purpose. Its story begins in March 1974 on Fort George Island near Jacksonville, Florida, when the Betz family stumbled upon something mysterious that they couldn't explain. And as I read this story and I heard more stories about it and I dug, looking through information about it, of course, people were like, no, this was just all whatever, whatever. But definitively, with some of the, if you just kind of read it with an open mind, you're like, there was there was really no real answer.
Hmm.
No one could say that it wasn't what they thought it was or anything like
Are
that.
you're saying Betz
Betz,
Sphere?
Betz sphere, and it's known as the Betz sphere because the Betz family found it, so it has been
Sphere,
called
like a shape, like a
sphere.
ball, like a
Sphere, yeah.
ball.
Yes,
Okay, okay. I had
it's
to
a
like for
round.
some like an object that is almost ball shape.
It's a round object,
Got it. Not unlike a ball.
right?
Got
Not unlike a basketball.
got it. Got it. 100%. I'm tracking. So bet
Betz
that's
is the
the
last name of
family.
the family.
Got it. I'm here. I'm here now. We're good.
So we're all caught up.
Yeah, we are zoomed ahead.
Right? They weren't placing bets.
Yeah,
They
not
weren't
a
a betting
bet
family.
sphere. It's like FanDuel, not sponsored yet. Oh man.
Right. So after a recent brush fire that they recently had swept that recently swept through their property, Anton, his wife Jerry, and their 21-year-old son Terry. They were surveying the damage when something in the distance caught his eye. Through all the burnt grass and smoke, he noticed something out of place. There was something glistening in the sun. When he got closer to it, he saw a shiny, perfectly shaped silver sphere. The
Hmm.
sphere measured about 8 inches, weighed about 22 pounds. The surface was perfectly smooth. It had no marks besides a small, but like some little scratches, I guess, because of where it was. It was located in the woods, right? Um, but what was it? Was it a cannonball from decades ago? Maybe a piece of industrial machinery that was left behind? Terry made a decision that would change the Betts family lives forever. He decided to bring it home. The Betts family lived on 88 acres of land, which was used for raising trees for timber. So they live in
Okay.
Jacksonville, which is a piece of shit town in Florida anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it kind of is like
Call it what it
kind of like
is.
West
Yeah.
Virginia
Got
almost.
it.
But they lived on this big acre of land and they used it for timber. They would raise trees. By all accounts, the Betts family were pretty well off. Anton was an engineer and his wife Jerry was an artist, and they had 6 children. And the 6 children also includes the 21-year-old son Terry, right?
Okay.
The Betts family lived in a mansion, which they nicknamed the castle. When they got it home, they took a closer look at the sphere and noticed it had no seams or welding marks, no holes, no dents, or other signs of damage. It was a triangle etched into it, but no other marks besides that one.
Huh.
So they looked at it around. They, you know, if it's some kind of sphere, it was like industrial, you could probably tell that it had been
Yeah.
worn. There had been some scratches or something. There was a triangle that was etched on one side of it.
So that was the only marking is the
Only marking.
triangle.
Right.
Okay.
So Terry took it to his room, set it on the windowsill next to some other stuff he had there, kind of like just like a little collectible, something he found out there, and he put it on his windowsill. A few weeks passed, and that's when everything changed. As Terry and one of his friends were in his room playing guitar, they both noticed a faint humming noise coming from somewhere. They stopped playing, listened for the humming noise for a couple minutes. They didn't hear it, thought nothing of it, and continued to play. As soon as they started to play again, the noise returned. Terry said he began to strum his guitar and walk around his room to see if he could pinpoint the humming noise. To his surprise, he realized that the sphere would vibrate to the notes he played. He played louder, and the sphere would vibrate louder, and then it started to make a buzzing noise. So-
Oh wow. Okay.
right. So this guy, they have it.
That's odd. Like so for so basically they find a shiny ball bearing from from something, and it just automatically what resonates with music sound frequencies.
Sound frequency or something, right? Because he's playing the guitar, he's walking around. Well, he's playing the guitar. They hear a slight humming noise, so he stops and he's kind of like, "Where's that coming from?"
That's
And he did it a couple times where he would play again, and then like he would hear it and it'd stop. They were like, "Okay," so then he would play and kind of like walk around the room and trying to like figure out where it was coming from. figured out that it was the sphere. He's playing, and it would get louder and start humming.
That's odd because usually, like you would think things like that would exhibit like possibly would react to like electromagnetic like radio waves as well. So
Or
that's
something,
kind of
right?
yeah, like was there had to have been like a radio in the house, and that, or then again, they it could have been reacting to radio waves as well. They just could never. They might not have been in the same room as it, and they just
Maybe.
would never have known.
So I mean, now this thing, like people who don't believe in like not I don't and this isn't I don't think this is supernatural for one.
No.
Okay, so people that don't believe in like I guess aliens or UFOs or whatever kind of went to the side of this has got to be it has to be like something in that direction. That was the weird part about it.
Oh,
So
wait. They went what UFO?
they were thinking that. So I don't want to like jump ahead, but yeah, they were kind of like thinking like I mean this what else could it be,
Oh,
right? So now as this was happening, as they were going around playing the guitar and the sphere was buzzing and humming, the family dog began to whine and bark as if the noise was coming from as if the noise coming from the sphere was bothering him. Now Terry wanted to do his own test on the sphere. He hit it with a hammer, made a ringing noise. The way the sphere had reacted amazed Terry, so he took it to the living room to show the family what he discovered. As everyone was gathered in the living room, Terry sat the sphere down, went to go grab his guitar and the hammer. And what happened next, nobody was expecting. As everyone was gathered around, nobody was touching it. They weren't even close to the sphere. The sphere started to move on its own. At this point, the sphere was no longer a cool and interesting find from the woods. It now defied logic and probably scared the family a little. This thing they found responded to sound, touch, and now it was mobile. So out of nowhere, it's starting to move
so
on its own.
my dude activated it with the hammer.
I mean,
Got it.
something did, right?
Oh shit. Okay.
So this is why this thing is like it's like so weird, right?
Yeah.
Uh when they rolled the sphere on the ground, it would roll away, stop, then vibrate, change direction, stop, and vibrate, change directions again, and then roll back to the person who rolled it.
And Bruce Almighty, my will be done!
What?
And it wasn't like it did it once, it would do this constantly.
Every time.
Yeah.
That's see, okay. Okay, hear me out. Like, okay, so this is my thought process. Like, first and foremost, if you find some weird shit in the woods in the ground, leave it there. Just fucking leave it there. Just leave it there. Don't be a Betz. Just leave it there. Right? It's not yours. You didn't leave it. Right? You didn't lose it. Don't take it. So I'm thinking like, okay, it could be a mineral, something that they could never been found, or someone found it from a long time ago. Fucking, they didn't know what they had, and they made a sphere and they put it in the
what's
ground.
odd is this is where they grow trees and they cut them down and they use they're using it for lumber or whatever.
Did it start the forest fire?
No, but see that's the thing, we don't know. Like it the fire caught whatever. I mean it's Florida, and I mean I would imagine that sometimes these little fires happen and it burns away all the dead stuff, and it just fucking nature, man. It's just nature, right? It burns away the grass, the dead trees, whatever they burn away, and it helps to grow new stuff.
No, 100%.
Right.
I'm just
I
thinking
don't think that it did. I mean, honestly, I've never seen where anyone said like if that was a possibility. Could have been.
because I'm thinking like, okay,
know.
let's say if you're going like extraterrestrial, and I'm okay. Now hear me out. Forget about the triangle etched in it. I'm trying to think. Okay, what if it is a perfectly perfectly spherical, fucking crazy mineral from the Gagofuck galaxy that just planted itself
Yeah,
in
I hate
Florida,
I hate
right?
when the minerals from that Gagofoot
You
galaxy
know,
show up.
yeah, in Florida,
God damn
and it
those.
hit and embed itself in Florida, right?
Of
Because
all
why
places.
not? Of all places, right? And and okay, whatever. I could go with you on some metals react differently to they hold magnetisms differently, right? Some metals are magnetic, some aren't. Some metals act weird, like I can go with you on that. But when stuff starts rolling around on its own and starts exhibiting semi like
Oh no, that's this definitely like a game. This whole thing is
now
like this
now
is why
we're
people.
now
This
we're
is
like alien
oh no
shit,
no,
bro.
and this isn't like this is just the beginning, dude. This
What?
is just the beginning.
Okay.
So all right, so sometimes it rolled for just a few seconds, and sometimes it even rolled up to 5 minutes. Once it even rolled on its own for 12 minutes before it finally came to a stop. At first, they thought it might have been a gyroscope, which would explain how it was able to move, right? Like, okay, get it. And remember, the father is an engineer.
Okay.
Okay. So the family put the sphere on a round coffee table with a glass top. They pushed it. The sphere would not fall off the table, right?
Yo.
Yeah, like, huh? What?
No,
Yeah,
no, 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 no.
this is what I'm saying. The sphere would roll around the edge of the table. Uh, the sphere would roll around the edge of the table, then roll to the middle and just stop. And if that wasn't crazy enough, what they did next, they lifted up one end of the table to get the sphere to roll off and onto the floor. Guess what? It did it.
What do you mean it didn't? Like
It wouldn't
it
fall
just
off the table.
it just
They
stood its
it just
ground.
basically, yeah.
It's
Basically
like
what they, just like you pull the table up a little bit, you have a marble or whatever, it was going to fall off. It wouldn't fall off. And it's not
it
like they,
just it just stayed
shook
in the
it. They
middle.
just it
Like
just rolled
nope.
and it wouldn't fall off. Amazingly, and to the surprise of the Betz family, rolled up the incline like it didn't want to fall off the table.
Yeah, okay. Send it to outer space. Fuck that.
So Jerry, the mother, picked it up and began to shake it. Jerry was quoted in a newspaper article later saying, "If you shake the ball vigorously and place it on the ground, it feels like a huge Mexican jumping being, which is trying to get away from you." That's what she said. You shake it, you put it on. I guess it like
Like,
vibrates and
oh,
you
so it's
know.
like messes up components that are in it. My question is, how does it go from like humming to like going full, like almost semi-sentient?
But that's the thing. Like I mean, we don't. They don't know. Now remember, now
Well, he hit it
I'm
with a
not saying
hammer.
these are some backwoods Florida people because they're not. Apparently, the Betts family, they're like I said, they're pretty well off. The father was an engineer, the mother was an artist, and she took care of the
Oh
kids.
man.
They weren't like living in a trailer park or anything like that.
And you know what? And you know why? Oh my god. Because you know what? Because Florida man would have known what to do with it, and that's to keep it quiet and to charge money to come see it.
So well again now they're trying to figure this out. They're smart
Oh,
people.
okay.
Father's engineer, and he's like, why is that's not possible.
Yeah.
This spheres, round objects fall off of tables when you lift them up on one end and roll off. They're
Yeah.
just going to do it. It's gravity, something. What is this? So the Betts family figured out that the sphere actually had a magnetic field. They placed a paper clip on it and saw that it would stick to it. But we're still able to move the paperclip with ease. So I mean, it was magnetic in a way, in a sense. Put a
Okay.
paperclip on it, it stuck to it. Okay, magnetic. Again, I'm thinking that since the father's an engineer, they're kind of doing like these little tests, like, oh look, it's I guess like you would do.
Yeah, you start small. You start
Yeah,
small. Like,
right,
what is it?
right, and you start with the guitar just by chance. You did the hammer, okay, rolled around. You see what kind of stuff it can do, doing all this other stuff, right? They also found out that if the sphere rolled around for a longer period of time, the magnetic field seemed to get stronger. They tested it with a lid of a mayonnaise jar. It stuck to the sphere, but they weren't able to get it off right away. So it was a little stronger. So it's like they put it on there and they're like they couldn't get it off.
Oh
The Betz
shit!
family thought maybe the sphere could be powered by the sun. When the sphere was exposed to sunlight, the object seemed to be more active. They said when it was sitting outside in the sun for a period of time, they could feel a gentle vibration and a low hum. The father said it felt and sounded like it had a small motor in it. When they brought it back indoors, the sphere stayed warm for up to 3 days.
Oh my god!
Interesting.
So my dude. Okay, so that's just all right. Let's just call it what it is. My dude woke it up, and did he ever hit it again with his hammer to shut it off? Like, he turned it on, all right, and it worked tremendously. So I just thought that like, okay, I played my guitar, it hummed at me, it rolls around, great. What am I gonna do? Let's try to break it with a hammer. Fucking
Well, I don't think um I don't think they wanted to break it. I think they were just kind of like,
like just like
testing it.
tap it.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's what do they call
It wasn't a sledgehammer. It was more like a like
no, it was a hammer, not a fucking sledgehammer. No.
it wasn't like
Totally different.
okay.
Totally different.
All right, so you want to fucking hum? Oh, how about now? Just
Yeah.
fucking misery,
Yeah,
the fucking ball.
Wasn't at, like the fair. We're just trying to see like how many hits will it take to break this open.
Oh god. Okay, got it. I'm all right. I'm tracking. So this thing. Oh man, listen. I don't know anything about this, but
It's intriguing, right? I mean,
tell me they didn't call the government.
Well, funny you say that. After a few days of messing around with the sphere, a family friend decided to take it a step further. He decided to reach out to the Jacksonville Journal and told them about what was going on. The Journal reluctantly sent over a photographer. When the photographer got to the house, he was very much a skeptic. But by the time he left the house, yeah, he changed his mind.
Oh my god.
When Lou Anger arrived at the Betz family home, he began with letting Jerry know. He was reluctant and a skeptic of these types of things. Anger said that Jerry told him, you won't believe this if you don't see it. Anger said they told him to put the sphere on the floor and give it a little push. So he did. He said it rolled away and stopped. So what? Like, okay, it's what spheres do. You roll them away and okay, no big fucking deal. She said, just give it a minute. Anger then said, then it turned by itself, rolled 4 feet, stopped, turned again, rolled to the left about 8 feet, made a big arc, and came right back to my feet.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody, calm down.
No sphere is going to do that.
That's
No round object is going to do that unless it does it somehow unless it's like radio controlled, right?
oh my god. Yeah.
Anger did not need to see anything else. He was convinced he had a story. The Jacksonville Journal ran the story, and the Betz Sphere was a huge hit. Now the Betz family were getting calls from journalists from all over asking for interviews, wanting to get a closer look and a full story. The Betz family finally received a call they couldn't ignore.
Oh no.
It was the mafia. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah.
You must.
Oh god.
We're gonna give them an offer they can't refuse.
Good
No,
god.
it wasn't. No, they got a call from the U.S. military.
Uncle Sam.
I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
Uncle Sam. Good old Uncle Sam. After hearing all the talk about the sphere, they wanted to have a closer look. Jerry told them, no way. And of course, this did not go over well with the government.
Yeah.
But as we know, the government never takes no for an answer.
I was hoping maybe it was just this once. They were just like, you know what?
You know what? Fine.
You're right. I'll just leave it alone. You win, Florida family.
yeah, right. This time you got us this time, but next time
we'll do what we did to that Georgia family. We accidentally nuke them, and we'll accidentally nuke you too.
Nuke you too. Since you're on an island, nobody's going to care anyway.
We'll improve that state tremendously. Oh my god!
So the government finally got a hold of Jerry and had a talk with her. She was reluctant, but they explained they wanted to get a closer look to investigate the object in case it might be an unexploded ordnance or something.
Oh, get out of here.
I mean, they had to say something,
That's
right?
Stupid. Oh, yeah, because the unexploded ordinances that just follow you around after you push them away.
Right. Yeah, right. It's the heat-seeking missile.
Like, I'm pretty sure it would have already went boom after my son hit it with a hammer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
My son just hit it with a hammer like 10 times.
I'm pretty positive.
We're still here.
I don't know. How does weapons grade plutonium act when you hit it with a hammer? Like, I'm all right.
Yeah. If it was that bad, it probably would have taken out the whole island.
Yeah. Oh man.
So Jerry again reluctantly agreed to loan it to the Navy for 2 weeks.
Loan it?
Now look, listen. Now she's smart. I'll give it to her. For 2 weeks on the condition that if they find it not to be anything dangerous or belonging to the military, she wanted it back. She even had the Navy sign a contract. She actually wanted a report back in 2 weeks, letting them know if it couldn't be identified as government property, and if it wasn't, she wanted it returned. She's like, sign this contract. You motherfuckers are going to sign this contract. She's, again, like I said, she's smart. She's not typical Floridian people.
And that's the last time we saw Jerry.
Right. Yeah. And no one ever heard of Jerry again.
And you can't erase the contract, but we can erase many Jerrys.
Right.
Golly day.
Now that the Navy had it in its possession, they began to perform some tests on the sphere. They started with measuring it. It measured almost 8 inches as before. Its diameter and weighed about 21.34 pounds.
Whoa. This wasn't 20. What? How many pounds?
21.34.
I thought it was a lot smaller for some reason.
No, okay. Well, at first they figured it was about 22 pounds, but when the Navy weighed it apparently was 21.34 pounds.
So this thing
this was hefty. 8 inches, but it's heavy. Yeah, no, it's heavy. It wasn't some little thing that. No, I mean, 8 inches isn't that. I'm
trying to think. Is that like diameter of cap? What is that?
Actually, it might be a little bit. Well, it depends on your head size.
But like a fitted. What it's like 7.5, 8, 9, something. It couldn't be.
Well, than a fitted cap depends on your head size.
Oh my god, I used to have one. I think the one, I don't know.
Well, mine is about a 7.
So
it's probably a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger than that. But that's crazy. That 21
actually,
pounds?
when you say that now, it's like, well, yeah, it's probably about this big, probably a little bit bigger, and it weighed about 22 pounds.
Wow.
Right?
Damn, is it gold? Jesus, or lead? Fuck, man.
Something, right? So the sphere was made of some type of stainless steel alloy. It could withstand extreme heat and pressure. It was able to withstand pressure of, now this is crazy, 120,000 pounds per square inch, according to reports.
120,000 pounds per square inch. Where did we just put that under a fucking what is it called, hydraulic press?
Yeah, I mean, if it's
Wow.
Navy, yeah, they have one. Yeah.
Wow. Use that to roll out the next battleship.
Yeah, they
Wow.
probably. So the sphere was made of a stainless steel grade 431. After the Navy ran some more tests, they found out the sphere was extremely magnetic. It had 4 magnetic poles, 2 positive, 2 negative, and the poles, the magnetic fields varied in strength and were in an unusual pattern. Next, the Navy took some X-rays of the sphere. It said the first round of X-rays turned nothing up. They said they would use a stronger machine and run spectrograph tests on it to determine what metal it was made of. After 2 weeks, the X-rays again showed nothing, and it was determined that the sphere was not government property and not considered dangerous. So the Navy returned the sphere back to the Betz family.
Whoa.
But when a Navy serviceman showed up to the Betz house to return the sphere, he also showed up with something else in his hand. One of those big envelopes. What was in the envelope? Oh my gosh.
Money.
I don't think the government would pay for anything.
Oh, dude, if we can, I feel like if the government can't crack something, we're like, we want it. We want it. We need it. And we need to find a way where we can kill people with it. We will make this a weapon. So, okay, got it. I'm talking too much. Sorry.
We want it.
We want it.
Well, remember, the Navy told Jerry and the Betz family they couldn't find anything on the X-rays, but in the envelope was X-rays of the sphere, and they showed the inside of the sphere and what it contained. There was something inside. It showed there were layers to the sphere, an outer shell that was about a half-inch thick. Inside, there were different layers of steel consisting of different densities. At the center, it was hollow, and in the hollow center, there were 3 more smaller spheres. From what they could tell from the X-rays, it looked like they were wired together. What were they, and how the heck did they get in there? Now, it's not odd that there was something in the center. It's obviously possible to make this happen. What made it odd and very mysterious was there were no marks, no holes, no seams, no welding marks, no signs of patches, like nothing, right? It was
Except for that
completely smooth,
triangular
except for the
etching.
triangle, right?
Yeah.
So this even stumped the Navy scientists. The Navy wanted to drill into the sphere and try to get a look inside. Again, Jerry told them, no fucking way, man. Don't do it. And at this point, just about everyone, neighbors, family members, friends, people around town, even the media were talking about the sphere and started forming their own opinions about what it was and where it might have come from. And some were asking if it could be otherworldly or even alien. Since no one could find out what it is, no one couldn't even find out what it isn't. It's hard to say.
Well, you know
Even
what,
the
though?
Navy turned up nothing. The Betz family decided to turn to scientists for some answers, but they just came up with more questions. What were you saying?
No, you know, but that's kind of like what everything is legit until like that's kind of our whole stance here, right? On our podcast is like
Right.
every avenue has a legitimate thing, no matter how crazy it sounds, until it's proven otherwise.
Right.
Like whatever. Like, okay, is it outlandish? Possibly. Could it? But could it? You can't prove that it isn't.
Right.
Is it? Probably not.
Because technically, anything is possible.
Anything is possible. So,
right. Even something that you don't want to believe in is possible, because unless you can prove otherwise that it doesn't happen or isn't existing or whatever, anything is possible.
Yeah, impossible shit happens all the time.
All the time.
Like, listen, like it's just part of life. So you have to leave room for the impossible to happen.
Well,
You have
again,
to.
one of the things we said in the very beginning was keep an open mind about everything,
Yeah.
because it's unless you can 1,000% prove that it does exist or doesn't exist, it's still an open book.
Yeah. Unless you made it, then come
Right. Yeah.
forward.
Right. Yeah. Unless you made it. I
Like,
mean,
that
you
was a
can't.
great prank.
Right. So now
Timu.
there were a few scientists that came forward to see if they could come up with some answers. The first man named was Dr. Carl Willinston. He said he was from the Omega -1 Institute. Dr. Willinston spent over 6 hours running tests on the sphere. He said he found something strange. He said that the sphere was emitting radio waves. And he also said it had 4 poles and that the sphere exterior was made of stainless steel grade 431. And something else he found out was that there were traces of another unknown element, just like the Navy said. It's also reported that Dr. Wilson witnessed the sphere move on its own. Next was Dr. James Harder. He was an engineer professor and became a trusted advisor to the family. Dr. Harder agreed with Wilson's findings that the internal sphere was made of a material with an atomic number of 140.
What?
The atomic number of an element represents the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom of that element.
Okay.
It is a unique identifier for each element and determines its position on the periodic table. The atomic number also defines chemical properties of the element, as it corresponds to the number of electrons in a neutral atom. The highest atomic number found naturally on Earth is 92, which belongs to uranium. But the highest number of scientists have been able to achieve is 118. So 140, and the highest number that scientists have been able to achieve is 118. It's pretty strange.
It's like pure grade. This is
Something.
like high grade. Holy crap. This is
Right.
like building block material right here.
Then Dr. Harder wondered if the sphere might be a damaged alien probe or some other type of device. So the last scientist was Dr. J. Allen Hynek. He was a well-known astronomer and professor, but what he was best known for was a key figure in the study of unidentified flying objects, UFOs. Initially a skeptic, Hynek's work with the U.S. government on UFO investigations led to him becoming one of the most prominent advocates for scientific study on the phenomena. He was known to have worked on Project Blue Book.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's kind of, that's a
Blue
big
Book.
deal too.
Blue
Working
Book.
on Project Blue Book.
That's the car thing.
The what?
That's where you know the car trade-in value. Project Blue Book is like the Carfax.
Right. Yeah.
It's like whatever. Project Blue Book or Kelly Blue Book, whatever it is, same thing.
Project Blue Book doesn't tell you the value of your car.
It does not. Okay.
The Kelly Blue Book does.
Got it. It's completely different.
Yeah. So now about this time, a group of scientists flew into Jacksonville, showed up at the Betz home, and offered Jerry $750,000 in cash in exchange for the sphere. Now, $750,000 back then is like almost $4 million today.
What was the date range again of this?
In the 70s.
Damn.
Yeah.
That
750,000 is. I mean, that's them showing up to your home and saying, "Hey, here's 4 bags of money."
That's
cash.
not
cash.
Yeah, that's generational wealth at that point.
Yeah.
Here's generational wealth. Like that's different than someone handing you $1 million now. Like that's generational wealth. I'm handing you the opportunity of your kids'
Lifetime. Yeah.
Lifetime.
So from what Jerry was saying, but something about these men didn't sit well with Jerry. When they asked if they could take a look at the sphere, she said it wasn't here. It wasn't there, and did not take the money. Of course, this really upset the men, and they left. When the family checked their backstory, turns out none of it was true. The Betz family just didn't get a good feeling about them. They thought it could be a foreign government trying to acquire the sphere. In the 70s, National Enquirer said they would pay anyone who could prove that if prove if there's life in outer space. They had a whole panel set up. Even Dr. Harder and Dr. Hynek, they were on this panel. The Betz family decided to send their son Terry with the sphere to this panel. They didn't think it was extraterrestrial, but since all these scientists were there all in one place, why not give it a shot? Dr. Hynek came to the conclusion that it was man-made. Even when several people witnessed the sphere roll up, not like roll across, roll up a piece of plexiglass from a dead stop, no one was able to figure that out. When someone suggested they drill in it, again, Dr. Harder said it was probably not a good idea because if the sphere contained high enough atomic number, drilling into it could be catastrophic.
Yeah.
Something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Because that would be the last thing that everybody in probably about a 5-mile radius would do.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Wow.
So, yeah. While Terry was at the Enquirer office, Terry got a call saying, Terry was at this panel. Terry got a call saying his mother, Jerry, was involved in an accident. Terry tried calling his mother, but was unable to get through. So Terry caught the next flight back to Florida. And in such a rush, he decided to leave the sphere behind. When Terry arrived at his house, Jerry was fine. Obviously, someone wanted to separate him from the sphere. Jerry
Oh
said,
no.
go back, get the sphere. So he did as fast as he could, which is never a good idea.
No.
I understand your mother's in a bad spot, or you're thinking your mom's in a bad spot, but grab the sphere and go.
Yeah.
But I guess he was like, I got to get there. When he got there, the Enquirer did not cooperate with him. They were giving him the runaround, as if they were stalling. Terry demanded they give it back. Finally, they said they couldn't return it. It was gone.
Son of a bitches.
Right. Terry was finally told that the panel had taken it to run more tests on it, and are in New Orleans. So Terry makes the trip to New Orleans. When he gets there, the sphere is being guarded by the Navy. The Navy tells him while they are running tests on the sphere, he is not permitted to have access to the sphere at all. I mean,
so they kidnapped the sphere.
They kidnapped the sphere. After a bunch of back and forth, the Navy not finding anything new, they decide to give it back. As Terry is leaving the Navy facility, some reporters had gathered and asked if he could make the sphere do something. Terry says, sure, why not? Puts the sphere down and nothing. The sphere doesn't even move a little. No humming or even a slight vibration. So Terry's just like, whatever, picks it up and he leaves. Later on, Terry gets a hold of his sister, and his sister tells him to be careful. There are people waiting for you at the airport, and they are not reporters. Terry decides to just drive home. Now that the sphere was back in the Betz home, they decide to X-ray the sphere yet again. And what showed up was very surprising. It showed the sphere no longer had 4 magnetic poles, and it had a seam which it never had before. The X-rays also showed that inside didn't have 3 small spheres as before. It just had what looked like dust inside. Dr. Harder told the Betz family to be careful. Dr. Harder, God damn it, sorry, didn't trust Dr. Hynek and thought Dr. Hynek had something to do with the spheres being switched. A few years after Dr. Hynek passed away, his son Paul said that his family had a silver sphere and supposedly Paul said it had something to do with a UFO case from Florida.
Ooh.
Right. The Betz family were constantly hounded by the press and followed by what they thought were government agents. Once Jerry was physically assaulted by someone pretending to be a repairman. The Betz family had enough. They gave no more interviews. They sold their home, moved off the island. And Dr. Carl, so they sold their home and they got away. Now, a lot of people were like, oh, they were in it for money. They never profited anything from this.
It ruined their life.
It more or less ruined their lives, but at the same time, like they didn't need the money.
Yeah.
They turned down money. They could have
Yeah.
had a lot of money. They turned it down. They never asked for like movie deals. They never sold their story to anybody. They didn't do interviews about it. So anybody trying to say like, well, they were trying to get money out of it. They didn't want it.
Which is dangerous,
They
man.
just want to know like what happened.
Which is dangerous because like, that's a fine line. It's a fine line because if you're known that, okay, for instance, let's say you're known to be uncorruptible. What happens to people that are uncorruptible? They get assassinated.
They end up having accidents.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. So it's a very fine line. And their lives get destroyed if you're uncorruptible.
Yeah.
Right? Like and so it's a fine line. You really have to really believe in where you're standing, where you're coming from, and that is like the hill morally that you're going to die on. You got to be ready for it. You know what I mean? And it's not just because this moment makes it seem like it's just like 3 of them, but it's not. This is a whole family. It's a whole enterprise. It's a whole livelihood right here.
It's a family of 8. It was 6 kids, 2 parents, right?
Just because one kid brought one, like that sucks to be like the kid that brought the sphere home, and then everything is about that
ruin the whole family's life. Yeah,
ruin the family because of that one kid. Everything, all the attention is about the like that one kid's sphere. Like that kid basically got all the attention for years. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything about that whole was, you know what I mean? I don't know. Was it worth it? I would have taken the 700,000. Granted, that 700,000 probably came at the end of a gun. But I would have gone less.
Well, it's one of those like they couldn't shoot them. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't really kill them because they were more or less in the limelight. Because then it would be very weird. Like, okay, where's their sphere's gone? Where's why? Why is family of 8 dead?
Yeah, it's not like something you can keep quiet. It's like,
right.
Oh, their sphere's gone, but hey, we found another sphere just like it. Interesting.
Right. The military has it. Scientists have seen it. The journalists have seen it. Multiple newspapers have put reports out about it.
Like you're guilty. You basically just like you killed him. Here
right. So here's a couple of interesting facts about it. Remember Dr. Carl Willinston?
Yeah.
So there wasn't any proof that a man by that name ever existed.
Wait, no shit.
Yeah.
Willinston
never existed. So some speculate that the good doctor or whoever he was or could have been was a foreign operative attempting to gather intelligence on the object or trying to get his hands on the sphere.
I feel like that's a high likelihood of what happened.
Yeah. So I mean, that's he got close to it. He observed it, did whatever test he was doing to it.
Mm-hmm.
This person probably was just trying to get a hold of it, and for whether he's working for the government or whether he's working for a foreign government, trying to get, who knows?
Interesting.
Maybe he was involved in number stations too, and got orders to go check it out.
Maybe, or he was part. I feel like he was part of the Men in Black, and he needed the aliens' ball bearing back that fell off of their ship.
Right.
Get the fuck off this planet.
Right. So some say it was from a ball valve, but that's unlikely.
Yeah.
It's unlikely.
No.
Someone said it belonged to an artist who said it fell off his truck, but again, it's unlikely as well.
What?
There was an artist who came forward saying, or tried to come forward and say, "Oh no, that was on my truck. It fell off, whatever." But I guess they were when they were like looking into it, where he says he drove by and where they found it, it was like there's no way that even if you threw it off the truck while you were going at that down the road at 50 miles 60 miles an hour, it would never have landed miles down the road from where you were. So
Yeah.
that was like no. But yeah, some people kept trying to say it was part of a ball valve in a piece of
So
machinery, which they were like, no, that's not true.
so there's kickback because people just don't want it to be something different, right?
Right. Well, I mean, there's always that. Everyone thinks that it has to have like some kind of explanation. Like, no, it's a piece of machinery. No, it's a wheel or some shit.
Uh
It's a ball bearing, a big huge ball bearing for some kind of machine. No, um, but some believe that yes, that there was a connection between maybe not Dr. Winston or whatever his name was and the Men in Black, but Men in Black were believed to have visited the family.
hmm.
Uh, there's possibly, obviously, because they think that some of the people that went to their house, they said were like some kind of agents. They think was Men in Black, and they're like, we want this back.
Interesting.
Yeah, or that Carl Wilson had a connection with the Men in Black, that he was possibly working with them.
I I feel like something that I feel like this is something that is important to government agencies, be, but they don't know why. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like it's important because we don't know what it is. And we
Oh,
don't know how
it,
it
it
works.
it's
So
important because they don't know what it is.
yeah, exactly. So it's like a secret, and secrets don't. No one wants to be the last to know a secret. So,
Right.
especially when it comes to tech, right? And that's what I feel like they're thinking of: tech, weaponized tech, or whatever it is, right? So I could see our government lying to us 100%. I could see agents covering it up. But you know what though? Sounds it sounds like something of super advanced technology. And I'll leave it at that. I have speculations on where super advanced technology comes from. Um and I feel like via extraterrestrial or old terrestrial, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, yeah. One of the big questions is always. I mean, remember they lived in a forest, so there's no way that machinery could
Yeah.
get there. Well, where did it come from?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could have started the brush fire. It landed and it just caught everything on fire.
Yeah. It could have been like, yeah, it could have been like super hot and
Yeah.
just fell. It didn't have to like crash land. It could have just
No.
been fucking super hot, just straight up came down and fucking caught
Yeah.
everything on fire. Or it could
Yeah.
have just resonated with some crazy frequency that
I
got
could have.
sent and it just hyper reacted and burst everything on fire.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, a lot of people think that it was again because they can't pinpoint anything. So it was like, no, it's got to be something from space because nobody knows where. I mean, any kind of machinery doesn't have it in there. And I
No,
mean, why would the government? Why would people come after it so
well,
much
yeah. The fact that
if it was just a sphere?
it was made of such a high grade alloy is blowing my mind. Like that, something that we can't replicate or we haven't gotten to is something that's blowing my mind, because I know that like asteroids and those comet shit drop minerals all the time that are like what, like pure whatevers. That's where we
Right.
get all of our exotic minerals and elements, right? Where we find new shit all the time.
Right.
But not like that. You know,
No.
that's isn't that like what was it made out of?
Oh, they don't even know what it was made out of. It was
Is
like
it
an
something?
alloy, stainless steel alloy.
So stainless steel isn't that a mixture of metals? You know what I mean? Like it's a manufactured metal. It's not a naturally occurring metal, I
I
think.
think they're saying that that's more what it was close to.
Oh, okay.
They never said for sure. Like I didn't say anything like, oh no,
Interesting.
it's stainless steel, 100%. But I'm thinking that it was what do you call it? Probably like something that they would associate it with. It's
Got it.
almost similar to the
Like
same type of thing.
the signature was kind of like a stainless steel alloy, but
That's what
pure.
I thought it had. I could be wrong. They could be
Okay.
saying that it was stainless steel, but then it's like, well, then that's kind of from Earth.
Well,
But
because
not to say that other aliens out there couldn't make stainless steel.
Well, I'm just saying, like, even because even if it was, let's say, stainless steel, then that's a mixture of metals, but that mixture of metals specifically for that sphere was so flawless that we haven't even been able to replicate. Is what I'm
Right.
saying. Like, that's the crazy part. It's like, holy
Right.
shit! Even that
Right.
metal is like we can't even come close to that. So.
Right.
You know, I don't know. Could it be? For sure, it could be. I'm definitely leaning more towards that, especially since there was a mad rush. Usually when the government wants something, and usually when it's like different U.S. government agencies that want it, you know you got something.
Well, it's not even just you, but that's the thing. Nobody knows if other people looking for it or asking about it were all U.S. agencies.
No,
They could have been foreign
there
operatives.
definitely
For
weren't.
all we
They
know, they
definitely
could have
weren't.
been German, Russian,
They
Chinese, whatever.
they definitely were not all U.S. But I'm just saying, like, you know, you had the U.S. Navy drooling at the bit, chomping at the bit for this thing. You know that in the mix there was definitely CIA operatives, and you know there was the deep state or the Men in Black or however you want to put it, whatever that 70s thing was that they had in place at the time.
I believe they were there.
You think so?
Men in
Was
Black.
Roswell was that up and running?
That was
70s?
Roswell was way before that.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, Men in Black kind of stuff. So then they were there. So you have different like covert U.S. agencies from the internal aspect of it
Right. And
wanting
I
this
believe
thing.
that there's agencies within the agency that would
Yeah.
probably get something and they don't want the other agencies to get a hold of.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when we have that kind of grab within our agencies in the US, like that's when you know you got something. Like that's when you know it's something like that's like, ooh, this is different.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
different.
hey, everybody, if you listen to this, if you made this far, tell us what you think. Like, what do you think? Is it alien or is it just a sphere and maybe the family made it out to be something that it really isn't? I believe it's not from around here.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm with you. I'm leaning. This is one of those times that, you know what? If it can't be explained, let's say this thing is 100% facts, 100% facts, and like, the it is what it is. Did they ever update what happened to that family afterwards? Like
I mean,
nowadays,
they moved. I mean, I think the father had passed away, but the mother apparently, she was just like an artist. She does like
faded away.
not really faded away. I mean, she's still around, but they don't like
She paint
she doesn't
orbs.
talk about it. She doesn't talk about it. She doesn't
Oh.
want to do like interviews about it or anything like that. And
Wow.
she's just living her life.
Oh, she doesn't like
Family.
paint spheres.
No, she
like-
doesn't do any like artwork about spheres or anything.
Got it. Okay.
But, yeah, they kind of just faded back. They just want to be a normal family.
Well, I don't know. I think that's wild. I think it's wild when you have the government wanting something. That's dangerous. That's very dangerous, man. I don't envy that family at all, one bit.
No. But yeah, everybody, let us know what you think. What do
Yep.
you think? Like you know, what it could be, what it might be, what it's not. Whatever. What do you? If you found it, what would you do? Leave it
Yeah.
there? Throw it in the water?
Would you? I mean, would you not tell anyone, or would you tell friends and family? Would you
Well, that's
just
what they
walk
did, and
away?
they went to the fucking journalists
Yeah,
and
no. I would not. That's the one thing I would never do. I would tell friends and family. I would document that I had it, and I would make a fake and go to public with the fake.
All
I'm
right.
like, yeah, here it is. Yep. But
Well,
that's crazy.
all right, Daniel, thanks for joining us today. I
Yep.
appreciate it. And guys, thank you again. Man, special shout out to
Yes.
the work fam. It's awesome.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys, and also to my whatnot fam. You guys are
What?
awesome too, rocking with us. Cool
Yes.
Cam, White Beans, and the whole family over there, and everybody on here, YouTube. Thank you all
Yes.
for supporting. Every little bit helps. Please don't stop. Keep supporting.
For sure.
Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up,
And
all
Happy
that
New
good stuff.
Year, guys.
Happy New Year to
Happy
everybody.
freaking New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. So when you see this, it will be the new year.
True.
Yeah. So
We did it.
until next time, everybody. Peace.
Later.
In a world of shadows and hidden truths, we search for answers, we chase the clues. A podcast of enigma. It's all the surreal, unleashing secrets. It's time to reveal. Chasing the giftings. Conspiracies unveiled, myths exposed. We're diving deep with you.